Rogers TV.
Hello and welcome to Rogers TV Community News. I'm Carla Fitzsimmons. Waterloo Regional Police have laid additional charges in connection to an ongoing child exploitation and sexual assault investigation. Police say since August, multiple victims have come forward regarding an investigation involving Justin Garzon. Garzon has several aliases, as you can see listed on your screen. In August, Garzon was arrested in Cambridge following an investigation that began in 2022. Through this investigation, police identified a series of offenses involving youth victims. It revealed Garzon had allegedly engaged in online communications with underage victims for several years while accumulating and distributing illicit materials. He was charged with a number of offenses, including 5 counts of luring a child, 2 counts of invitation to sexual touching, and 3 counts of making child sexual abuse materials. And on November 29th, police say Garzon is facing additional charges, including assault, sexual assault, and assault causing bodily harm. Brantford police have also charged Garzon with sexual assault and assault causing bodily harm. The investigation continues with the assistance from Peel Regional Police, the RCMP, and Interpol. Investigators say they believe there may be additional victims outside of Waterloo Region. Anyone with information is asked to contact Waterloo Regional Police Service or Crime Stoppers. It's created to look like an innocent encounter, whether it's asking for directions or hugging someone and placing a necklace around the victim's neck as a gesture of thank you. This is a form of distraction theft designed to divert the victim's attention from what's really going on. And these types of crimes tend to target the most vulnerable, our older population. Waterloo Regional Police Service wants you to be prepared and to know the warning signs.
So the type of distraction theft we're seeing predominantly is jewelry distraction thefts, which involve the theft of jewelry from the victims in a surreptitious or discreet way. The victim is often approached by a vehicle, which is an SUV newer model that we're noticing. The suspects will then engage the victim in conversation in attempts to lure them towards the vehicle. At that point, they'll request that the victim celebrate their birthday with them, or provide directions to them to a specific location, or that they participate in a blessing with them. Those are what we've noticed frequently is the conversation. When that individual approaches the vehicle, the suspects will then insist on placing jewelry on the victim as a thank you for their assistance or their participation in the blessing. When the suspects put the jewelry on the victim, they will remove the victim's jewelry, often without the victim knowing, in a very discreet way. As soon as that is done, the suspects will then leave the area in the vehicle. Directions and conversation can be had from a distance. There's no reason why you need to approach the vehicle. We're also asking that the public contact Waterloo Regional Police if they believe that they were a victim of an attempted jewelry distraction theft, or if they were a victim themselves. The newer model SUVs that are being used in these crimes that we're noticing have been modified to hide the identity of the driver. Specifically, we're noticing they're removing either one or both license plate and or obstructing one or both license plates. We do believe that these jewelry distraction thefts are being committed by an organized crime group. We have seen not only in Waterloo Region, but in different jurisdictions around Waterloo Region and Ontario.
And as many will be out shopping for Christmas gifts this holiday season, police want you to know about another type of distraction theft.
So another trend that Waterloo Regional Police are noticing with these jewelry distraction thefts is that during the winter months they slow down. Often jewelry isn't as visible and people aren't out as frequently. And we've noticed these crime trends then start to develop into different crime trends that involve a different way that they're done. Specifically, we're noticing an increase in purse distraction thefts, where an individual will be engaged in a conversation in a grocery store or some shopping center. The individual will then be distracted. Another suspect will come up and remove belongings from the individual's cart, or if their purse is exposed, steal something from their purse.
Brant County played host to the Western Ontario Funders Forum. It was an opportunity for members of the community to learn and speak with provincial experts about how to access grant programs and funding streams.
It's part of a series that's hosted by the Western Ontario Wardens Caucus, and the County of Brant's hosting it today. And basically, we have representatives from different ministries out talking to our business community and different stakeholders on what kind of provincial programming's out there. There are a lot of programs out there within each ministry. It's a little hard to navigate, so it's a good opportunity to meet your representative and learn a little more about each program and what each ministry can do for you. There are supports out there for your business or organization, and sometimes it's just navigating how to find the right program or the right person, and our team's part of that, and connecting people to different resources is what we do.
Well, my hope, first of all, is that this gets spread after this seminar today or this meeting today. I hope that we don't just leave it in the room. I hope we take it and put it through all of our different pieces of communications. People need to know about this now. We know about it. Now we've got to get it to the people, because, as I said, a lot of people had jobs for 15, 20 years that just disappeared, and they feel deserted. And we need to get the message out there that we have done something to bring the information closer to them so that they don't have to be worried all the time. People are too worried. People are finding themselves in a period where they just get quiet, they get nervous, and they don't really have much of a zest for the future. And this is really a step up for anybody who's just been unemployed or just getting into the market, finding a job. They need to know these people are available. And I think that when they find out the list of contacts through today's seminar, they'll be encouraged. And that's the main thing.
Last week, the Intercounty Baseball League announced it will be shifting into the Canadian Baseball League. Marshall Croker has more about what this announcement means.
Not in time, the ball game is tied, coming home, the run comes home to score! I sat down with CBL Commissioner Ted Kalmans and Shanna Farani, GM and President for the CBL's Kitchener Panthers, to find out what the new changes mean for the league going forward.
From the standpoint of the fan, I mean, what we're going to see is the name change to obviously Canadian Baseball League, and we are increasing some of our import, use on our rosters. Still 20 mandatory Canadian players.
On a league level, it's a very big deal. We've been trending in the right direction and growing rapidly over the past 3 years. This past year, we were able to double attendance in Kitchener, and league-wide, I believe we raised attendance by around 60,000 fans this year.
For all intents and purposes, it's still the same league. It's just going under a different name and different designation.
What role do you hope that the new Canadian Baseball League can play in the development of Canada into a greater baseballing nation like we've seen with, let's say, soccer in the last 10 years?
Well, I mean, the name reflects the fact that we're the best league in Canada, and it's by a significant margin. I do think there's a lot of Canadian players who might not have known about us because of the name.
One of the main things we discussed as a league was how can we still prioritize Canadian talent? And there's so much of it, whether it's from Ontario, Quebec.
I think the name change and the designation will definitely increase the interest of players who perhaps they haven't been drafted, or they were and they've been released. They're kind of deciding whether they're continuing on with their career or not to come and play in our league.
The Intercounty Baseball League leaves behind over a century of legacies and history, leading some to wonder how much of that history will be respected and archived in the new CBL.
Very much want to maintain the history of the league. The records, the stats, the standings of past years. We want to maintain all of that as much as possible.
Yeah, so I think we're really unique. We're one of the flagship franchises from the IBL, our first year being in 1919 when the league formed. So our 100-plus year history is something that not a lot of teams around the world could say. We are one of the oldest franchises, so I know that appeals to our players and being part of that history.
What's your pitch? What do you think is the reason you should come out to a CBL game next year?
We're not only a baseball game, we're also an entertainment option for you. So we'll run games throughout the entire game to make sure that everyone stays involved. It's going to be high-level baseball. I think that's only going to improve upon the high level that we played at last year.
Bring your glove, play catch behind the grandstand with your parent, and then come back later in the game to watch some more. to me, it's the affordability, the accessibility. It's a great family event. That's why I think people should come and see us.
And what is becoming a golden age for Canadian baseball, the rebranded Canadian Baseball League looks to continue providing memories to both fans and players for many more years to come.
It's a program that fills a critical gap in hospital care for people with developmental disabilities. Sunbeam's hospital care program, a first-of-its-kind initiative, supports patients during hospital stays. With the season of giving upon us, Sunbeam is issuing an appeal for donations to support this important program.
Sunbeam has been in the local community for almost 70 years in Waterloo Region. We do provide services across Waterloo, Wellington, Dufferin, Halton, and Peel.
Sunbeam's hospital care program is completely funded by donations.
And the idea is that when individuals in our inclusive living group homes might have to go to hospital, whether for an emergency or whether for a planned stay or a procedure, we try our hardest to have Sunbeam staff accompany them to the hospital and while they are in hospital. And that's so important because, we support some of the most complex people around in some of our inclusive living group homes. And our staff being there are always staff who know the individual. They work with them in their home environment. They understand how they communicate. Some of the people we support do not communicate with words. Hospitals, they serve a very important function and they do it well, but they aren't staffed, they aren't resourced, and they aren't trained to sort of work with some of the special populations that we support here at Sunbeam. Families, of course, are often part of the hospital visits, but families can get burnt out, especially if the hospital visit goes on for days. We will purposely try to make sure that when the family can't be there, we will try our hardest to have Sunbeam staff there so the person is never left alone.
Tom and Karen Ludwig's daughter, Sammy, lives full-time at the Zeller House. Sammy is nonverbal.
Years ago, Karen and I were insistent on being with Sammy in the room 24 hours. So I'd go do my bus run, Karen would be there in the day. And then when I was finished, I would come and relieve her and she could get home and get a shower and get some rest.
And then I would go back later because he had to sleep because he had to work in the morning.
Because the hospitals just weren't set up to deal with somebody of Sammy's nature, because Sammy can't fend for herself. She cannot protect her personal space if somebody were to enter that.
And she's not verbal, so she needs somebody who knows her, who can understand what the situation is, and then having known her situation and her personal history, can relate with the nurses and the doctors and just give them a good background on, Sammy as a person.
It's such a great program that the Sunbeam Home System brings to the community. You're not left with any worries. How is my child doing?
They keep in touch all the time.
You have to be the advocate if something's not working. You gotta reach out, and we've done that.
Families in general get worn down because that's a big job, 24-hour care. We still, as I had said, stay totally involved in her medical, and so having backup from the Sunbeam Center and the particular homes, the staff that came in, they know her, and it's so relieving. It's not just the stress of being there, but it's the stress of worrying if you're not there.
Having the services of the Sunbeam Group Home System just helps to maintain your mental health.
Thanks for watching this edition of Rogers TV Community News. I'm Carla Fitzsimmons, and I'll see you again on Friday.